Hey everybody, welcome back. So this week, I'm going to talk to you about something that has really helped me build my business over the last 6 or 7 years, actually longer than that since I started out. I learned this really early on, and I've had it reinforced by every coach, every mentor that I've worked with. And that's the topic for this week is growing your business through networking, through partnership, through collaboration, okay? If you listened to my review last week of Mike Kim's book, You Are the Brand, he even talks about it in there. Hopefully you went out and bought it right away and you're already to that point in the book. But it's this old adage in business or in life, you've heard it before. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? And I'm not talking about your Uncle Tony who knows a guy, or you wrote a screenplay and your friend knows somebody in Hollywood, that type of thing. It's not necessarily that. It's more about partnership. It's more about finding people that you can work with, that it makes sense. That, as Mike says in the book, relationships are rocket ships. It's about being the jelly to someone else's peanut butter, that type of thing. Really collaborative, or, relationships that complete each other. Okay. And Mike explains it in this book, and this is sort of the best explanation of it that I've ever heard, is you want to find ways to partner up, collaborate across, or mentor down. And what that means, and Mike, I think, learned it from Paul Martinelli, and I've heard it said in different ways as well, is that you want to find some people, depending on what service you offer, what product you offer, or whatever business you're in, you want to find some people that are a little bit further along than you. They maybe have a little larger audience, a larger client list, a whatever, and ways that you could provide them a service or support them in some way and not take advantage of, but use the fact that they have a bit wider reach than you, and that they can also benefit from the knowledge and the expertise you have. So you want to partner up. And then you want to collaborate across. So you want to find those people that are about at the same place in business, the history of their business, their size of their business, maybe people that are in a mastermind with you or a group with you, where you can collaborate, where you can come up with an idea together that complements each other. And you can work on that and use each other's ability to reach different audiences to benefit this one thing that you've chosen to do together. And then you always want to mentor down. You want to look for those people who are coming up behind you. I do that through this podcast. I do that through some of my programs where I want to help podcasters or people who are starting businesses or maybe trying to transition from a side hustle into more of a developed business model like I have. You want to help those people, and you want to help them grow, and you want to help them come along, because as you've heard me say, I talk about my mentors on this podcast all the time. I talk about people who've helped me. So I actually keep a list of 5 people or 5 entities that I could partner up with at any time, 5 people or entities, businesses that I can collaborate across with, and then 5 that I could mentor down. And I do that so that there's always something going on. There's always something happening. I'm always talking with different audiences, different groups of people about different things. I'm always creating new ideas, new ways to partner, new ways to collaborate, new ways to mentor. And that keeps that pipeline rolling. In addition to the things that I'm always doing with content creation or clients that I'm working with, or things that I'm doing in terms of speaking and participating and educating people. So that's one way to think about it. And so let me give you an example of some of these. So right now I have a 4-week program called the Podcast Accelerator that basically in 4 weeks takes a group of people from nothing to launching a podcast. Okay. And I've created a course around it. I've created Slack channels for discussion. I have live calls, all those types of things. And what I do is I go to people that are a bit further along than me, that maybe talk about blogging or talk about branding or talk about business growth. And I say to them, hey, I have this program. It's called the Podcast Accelerator. If you have people that you think would be interested in starting a podcast, I have this program and I can partner with you on it, and you get 50% of the revenue. And all you have to do is show up for a first call so we can launch this idea, and then do the 4 Q&A calls with me. And I'll provide the course, I'll provide the Slack channel, I'll provide all of this stuff that people will use, the templates, the scripts, everything during this program. So that's how I'm currently partnering up. I'm taking something that I do really well and have a system for and a program for, and I'm bringing it to someone who already has an audience that might be interested or is hungry for learning how to create a podcast. Now, in terms of collaborating across, one of the things I do with members of a mastermind that I'm in, we all have different expertise. We have different areas that we concentrate on in marketing. And occasionally we will get together and do a conference together, or a workshop together, or a 4-week program, or an 8-week coaching program, or an intensive where we get together and we help people develop their brand or develop their content marketing strategy or their marketing strategy, all those types of things. But we work together on that. And as I mentioned before, in terms of mentoring, I'm doing coaching groups on my own. I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing my LinkedIn learning courses and things like that, where I'm helping people learn how to podcast, learn how to grow their business. Now, sometimes you'll hear this talked about in terms of something called a joint venture, where maybe you don't know these people, but you're gonna partner on something because you can help each other in a certain way. And there is a person I met at a conference last year. His name's Jay Facette, who helps people learn how to do joint ventures better, how to partner up with other people. And the way he described this system was to think of it in terms of upstream and downstream. Okay. And what he means by upstream is, let's say you're a service business like me. Okay. And we're not talking about creating education programs or something like that. I would start to think, well, what types of businesses are upstream from me? Who could refer business to me that I could then maybe give a finder's fee to, or affiliate commission to, or something like that? So I think about, well, maybe that's marketing agencies. Maybe that is a coaching certification program that wants to help their members build an audience and things like that. And then you also think downstream. Okay, who are service providers? Who are businesses that I could refer people to and get an affiliate commission or a finder's fee or something like that? What do I do that I can then say, hey, let me send you to this company over here to help you keep moving further? And so for me, that's people like you've heard me mention, Angie Trueblood, who helps you figure out how to pitch yourself better to be on other podcasts, or Heather Osgood, who helps people with podcast advertising and things that I don't do, but I help people get a podcast. So what's the next step? They want to get guests for their show. They want to get on other shows. They want to find advertisers that would like to advertise on their show. So those are the type of people that are downstream from me. So that's another way to think about it. So in this episode, we talked a lot about networking, partnership, collaboration. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Okay. And that is really important. It's not a bad thing. That's just how business works. And I want you to think about this idea of who could you partner up with, who could you collaborate with, and who could you mentor? Who is upstream of you? Who is downstream of you? And when you start to do that, you'll notice that not only does your business grow, but your pipeline grows, and you don't hit those slow spots. If you're a consultant, if you're a service provider, you don't hit those slow spots where nothing is happening. There's always something coming up. There's always someone emailing you. There's always someone replying, filling out a form on your website, or showing up at your shop, things like that. So I hope this was helpful for you this week. This is a key element of my business as I've grown it over the last 10 years. And I can guarantee you that if you do this, you will see business growth over time. Have you ever wondered how other podcasters grow their audience? Well, one of the best ways to do this is by being a guest on other podcasts, borrowing their audiences. So that's why I created the Publicity Power Pack. It's a product designed to help you learn how to network with other podcasters and get invited onto their shows. There's really no better way to grow your audience. The Publicity Power Pack provides you with everything you need to network with other podcasters, be a better guest, send pitches that people actually respond to, and begin your journey towards becoming an in-demand guest. So what are you waiting for? Let me help you grow your podcast starting today. Get the Publicity Power Pack only for $27. You can go to DannyOsmond.com/PPP to get it today.